What are you doing here? Can you go away? I'm trying to know my ruins. And besides, I only have like 15 minutes left before like the sun explodes. You have family? Games nowadays tend to come in a set of genres and styles that we are used to. And it seems like nowadays there's already certain gameplay formulas that are kind of set up in gameplay loops that we've experienced a lot on different games following the same kind of guideline or patterns. And there's a reason for that. If you're envision that you are a huge dev company with a lot of investors and fans that want you to make something that they enjoy. Now, are you going to choose door A, which is, following the same formula that works and expanding upon it maybe a little bit and then pushing it out to hopefully get a good positivity review from the fans and please investors? Or do option B, which is innovate an entirely new gameplay formula and genre that, could miserably fail and you have no guideline to follow, and if you do, the investors will probably hate you. You're gonna choose option A most likely. And part of that is because making a good game is fucking hard and requires a lot of communication, hours, crunching, and most importantly, passion. And I don't know if you've ever played a game before, but you can tell whenever there is genuine passion to it. Making a game like this, or even this, it takes a lot of fucking smartness and balls to pull off. And I don't think I could do it. To have fun and engaging gameplay along with good audio design and a compelling story and just good visuals that everyone likes is incredibly hard. It requires a lot of small pieces to be put together in a creative and well-defined way for it to actually work. Now, I can name quite a few games that do fall under the category of door A. If you've been paying attention, we're talking about the doors again, you little rascal. But I can name very few games that actually truly stick to door B. And there is one game in particular that comes to mind whenever we're referencing door B. The day before. No, today we are going to be talking about The Outer Wilds and why it is regarded as one of the best indie games and why it has such a cult following, myself included. My name is Cambrodia. I really do hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, it would mean the absolute world to me if you could subscribe and get me out there and talk to me about someone and like the video. But that is all. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the video. Whenever you look at the gameplay design of Outer Wilds, nothing about it is conventional in the slightest. It just isn't. Everything from the intro to the way that the game physically works isn't conventional. The intro drops you in at a campfire where you are essentially told that you are an astronaut who's gonna go explore something called the Outer Wilds because you are a civilization trying to figure out and learn about new technology in an old civilization. That is all you are told, and you are basically let loose on an entire solar system. Now, this solar system has some of the most breathtaking visuals I have ever seen in a fucking game. Just take a look at it. And on top of that, it has one of the best soundtracks I have ever heard. I'm gonna play some for you right now. That is by far some of the best game music I have ever heard and still to this day love. Which, at this point in the video, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the story and spoilers. And if you haven't played Outer Wilds, please go do yourself a favor and go play it. And then come back to this video. Thank you. And this leads into our next topic, which is the actual music of the game. Music is a powerful tool, and it is often used in games. And it's often a mood kind of setter, tells you how to feel, tells you what to think. But in The Outer Wilds, it is used as an actual gameplay element, which I find incredibly innovative and unique, and not many other games use it in the way that it does. With your signal scope, you can go track out different kind of signals and find different instruments that all form one big track, which is this one right here. Now, finding this track is incredibly powerful for the player. Because as you progress through the story, you learn more about each of the astronauts that you find. And this track right here, if you haven't played the game, is very powerful. If you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not only used as a track, but rather how you find your way through the planets, giving you something to go look for, to go find all of the astronauts, which is very cool. And it's on top of that, it's fucking sick that it's a banger track. But this isn't the only music that's great throughout the entire game. I mean, all of it is wonderful, and it's just so incredibly well done. But that brings me to our next topic. Now, one of the core things that I think really elevated Outer Wilds for a lot of people was the aspect of how abrupt the intro is and the fact that there is no hand-holding. A lot of games follow the idea of guiding a player through an experience. Now, sometimes it's like, it's the game's guiding you as if you're a whiny little bitch and don't know what to do, which I am sometimes, but I'm a little sensitive about it, okay? Now, the Outer Wilds takes this idea of guiding you through an experience and throws it entirely on its head. Once you get your launch codes and you are free to go explore the solar system, there is a hinted way to approach the story, which is to go to the Outer Rock, talk to Esker, he tells you about the signal scope, and then to go follow the signal scopes. But you don't even have to fucking do that, which is even then is very open-ended. You can go straight to the Dark Bramble and scare the shit out of yourself, and your pants will be brown, and I'm not talking about their natural color, but you don't have to by any means. You have the freedom to go to all of the planets in the solar system, which are all entirely beautiful on their own and equally important. And I'm sorry to say it again, but just look at some of the visuals here. Just look. No matter where you go, you're gonna find something that pertains to the story. And the beauty of that is it's the actions of the player that get them there, not the game itself, or it telling you where to go, or giving you hints, rather. And this feeling of exploring on your own and finding things on your own does two things. As you are the main pilot in this game, and there's really no hand guiding you or telling you where to go, it allows for you to get much more immersed and cover your brain in space goo, as if you're actually in this solar system. It also makes progressing in the story much more rewarding, as it is the player figuring things out and solving puzzles for themselves. And progressing through the story in games isn't always fun, and we've learned that time and time again. If we take a look at the Assassin's Creed trailing missions, sure, you learn a little bit about the story, and you kind of, get a grasp of what's going on through some of the NPCs, but you don't feel good doing it. You don't have fun, because the entire time, the game is like, you're too close, you're too far, you're not going the right way, you're too far again, you gotta have them in view. Desynchronized. Ezio never did that. Like, that doesn't make you feel good. And speaking of Assassin's Creed, this brings me to another topic that the Outer Wilds doesn't relate to for conventional game design. The map. The map in a lot of open world games nowadays is filled with some of the most random and useless and dog shit side points of interest that are really just there to make the game a little bit harder to 100%. And I'm not saying that they're not fun all the time, okay? But we have to both agree that most of them are just copy and pasting the same thing over and over again. Now, Outer Wilds does a great job of taking all this clutter and fat that we're used to and cutting all of it out. Every single point and world in the Outer Wilds is condensed in a masterful way and has things for the player to go do and see that are genuinely interesting and keep you engaged, making all of them feel as if they have a purpose because they do. You want to go explore Giant Seep, which also scares the shit out of me because I have thalassophobia? Cool, man. Go see Gabbro and watch the islands fly off of the planet and go see the Quantum Space Tower where you learn about how that shit works. You want to go to the Our Twins planets? Sure, go do that. Go explore the underground and try not to get buried by sand, or wait for the sand to go to the other planet and go explore the areas that weren't there before. You want to go to Brittle Hollow? Fucking sick, dude. Go look at this planet that falls apart whenever asteroids hit it and they get sent into a black hole, which, spoiler alert, is actually used for one of the Nomai ruins in the story, which was so cool to me. You want to go to the Dark Bramble? Cool, go shit yourself. And going to these planets never feels like a chore because of the unique way that the gameplay loop is actually designed to work. And that's what I wanted to talk about next, is the actual gameplay and story. And the gameplay is locked to a 22-minute timer. And whenever that 22-minute timer goes off, the sun explodes and kills literally everyone, and then you wake up back at the campfire. Now, if you've never played the Outer Wilds and you're still watching this video, what are you doing? I told you to go play it first and then come here. But if you just ignored me, sure, we'll talk about it. This isn't annoying because nothing is locked in the Outer Wilds. It follows the strict saying that knowledge is true power because it is. You can beat the game within like 10 minutes if you know what you're doing in the Outer Wilds and you know what is already going on. But the point of the game is that you don't, and you have to figure it out. So wherever you are in the story or the puzzle or what you're doing at that point, you can get back to very easily and very quickly because you now have the knowledge of how to get there and how it works, making it feel like you have a deeper understanding of what's going on because you do. And it's rewarding to the player to watch this happen, making the moments where you do find something or it clicks with you all the better, as you're like, fuck, now I can go back to that one area and finally solve that puzzle. And all of this leads to one of the most compelling and best endings to a game that I have ever played in story. And that is what makes this game stand out from everything else that I have ever played, and there's nothing quite like it. And if I could go back in time again and play this game and forget everything, I absolutely would. So if you haven't played the Outer Wilds, go play it. But I think that's all I really have to say. My name is Cambrodia. I hope that you had a wonderful time watching this video. If you did, please subscribe to me. That would mean the absolute world to me. And maybe like the video. I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.